It's going.
We're live.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Bonjour.
So,
Hello.
bonjour everyone.
From Montmartre.
So we're sitting here at 6 o'clock in the morning in Paris. April Pett.
Bonjour. Hello again, everybody.
I'm Oliver G. If you don't know where we are, we have a camera woman, camera operator, cameraman. You can't say cameraman if it's a woman.
Camera woman.
Filming. If you'd like to show Noelle what's behind us, especially the big building, and what you guys can't see yet is the amazing sunrise view behind us.
Yeah.
But we're going to save that for a second. No revealing yet, but while people are tuning in, I thought maybe you'd tell us what the plan is today, April, because I don't know what it is.
Well, we seem to have a theme of visiting places that start with M. So here we are in Montmartre, and we thought we would come and check out the village atop the hill before the crowds come through for the day. So we'll start here at Sacré-Cœur. We'll check out the view in just a few moments and then just do a little walkabout.
We're giving everyone else a chance to wake up as well.
Yeah.
But feel free to say hello from wherever you're from. Let us know that the sound is working. We're just sort of doing a gentle start. I haven't had a coffee today.
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I prepped my espresso machine last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I know that some people, I know Brian in Australia he got a coffee ready for us in our honor.
I read that. Hi Brian.
So
Bonjour.
hi Brian, if you're watching. Is anybody watching? Can we get, okay, people are there.
There's 7 people watching.
Any comments from them letting know that the audio is not working or anything like that?
No, it's working.
Yeah.
You've got your Eau de la shirt on. I've got my Les Fleurs shirt on.
All right.
We're very French.
We are very French today, aren't we?
And you know what? You mentioned also, you mentioned that we're doing plays beginning with M as a theme, which was kind of accidental.
Yeah.
But we also did Rue Montague and Rue Montmartre. So this is the third of the M's.
Yes.
And by the way, Noelle, did you get the top of the building for everybody at home? Because we ain't going to be hanging around here for long.
No.
Let's do the big reveal. You know what? Maybe this can be the 1 minute trailer for it right now.
Okay.
Come up with us, and then we're going to show you the view as like a minute starting point, and then we're going to get on with the walk. Yeah, we'll walk through it.
Woo.
Oh my God. Okay. So, how should we do it?
All right.
Let's. Okay, stay there. You ready? We're going to restart, guys watching. I know you're already watching, but we're just going to restart it. Just wing it. You ready?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Morning, everyone. It's an Eiffel Tower walk show.
Walk show this morning.
April Pett.
Sunrise walk show.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Montmartre.
Yeah.
April's had a coffee. I haven't. Check this view out. Follow us along.
Yeah.
Have a look at Paris as it wakes up. In fact, we don't need to really be in it. Show what's going on, Noelle. Give that a good sweeping view and take it all
How
in.
beautiful is that? All right. Hi, Mark. Oh, Mark's there. We'll see you next week.
So join us on that's what we're about to do. We're about to do a walk around the very deserted streets of Montmartre. Come along with us.
Someone said gorgeous.
What are they talking about? Oh, the view. So what's your step? Because
yeah. So there's a little bit of
watch where you're stepping through. Like actually.
Take a look there, Noelle.
One thing that this show does, we always show, as lovely as Paris is, I like to point out that there are some things that aren't lovely about Paris. And that can be early in the morning. There can be bottles on the floor in Montmartre where people have been sitting having their drinks.
All night long.
Yeah.
But take a look at the view. Actually, do you know, Oliver, one of my first memories of coming to Paris, I was 17 and I came here and I sat on the stairs with the other students from my class. We were all studying French in high school, and we sat here and everyone was just enjoying life, and there was a fire thrower down there and buskers and live music. And so when you come to Montmartre in the evening time, I mean, this is the perfect place to watch the city transform from day to night. We're doing it a bit opposite this morning. We were watching it turn from night to day on our sunrise walk. But so the street cleaners who you showed the other day in the Marais, they haven't come through with their witch brooms yet, but they will be by any time now to make this all beautiful, because the crowds of people will be joining us in Montmartre.
Yeah, we're earlier than the tourists.
We are. I couldn't believe how empty the streets were as we were coming up.
Where we're about to show you, because I scooted here and I parked my scooter just up there. We're gonna miss it actually, the red scooter. But I've never been through those streets, so like literally there's not a soul there. It's amazing. Come on, what are we doing? This is a walk show. It's not a stand show.
Yeah, let's go.
Can't really go wrong with that view. We don't really need to talk, people.
No.
And And the reason that we're coming down this way, you know what? Like, you would never, that's the first time you're ever going to get these steps without people on it.
Yeah.
These steps, if you show these bottle-ridden steps,
Take a look there.
they usually got hundreds of people. So, oh, look at that. Eiffel Tower Walk Show.
Do you know this is my favorite church in Paris?
The Sacré-Cœur.
The Sacré-Cœur, yeah.
You know what? So all the people that are tuning in, this is April Pett,
Bonjour.
tour guide. April in Paris tours.
April in Paris tours.
Regular on the show.
Yeah.
You do what? You're everybody's friend in Paris.
Yes, the friendliest tour guide in Paris,
The
they call
friendliest.
me.
Congratulations are in order.
Yes.
What was that? 100 5-star reviews.
Yes, on TripAdvisor. So thank you, everybody.
Come along. Quick, we're racing the clock. Which isn't strictly true. We can walk, what, maybe half an hour before the show's over or the battery runs out. But the reason that we came down the stairs and we're going this way is because there's a special female guest we're going to show you off in the distance. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Do you guys know what we're talking
Do you know
about?
what we're talking about? Do you know what we're talking
Oui,
about?
oui.
Camera lady, come on over. Here comes the car. Paris is now coming to life. Cars are joining.
I was surprised how many people were on this. Hey, you guys, if you've got, hang on, I've got to address you guys here. The whole point of these walk shows, doing them live, is that you watching at your home, and I don't know who's watching because I can't see the camera, except for Brian Fitzgerald, who I'm sure is there, is that you can interact with us.
Yeah.
You can send us questions, you can send us comments, you can say, don't go left. You can say, I saw something shady in the corner, don't go over there. You can tell us. So please, Noel will read out your comments.
All right.
Word about this, maybe?
So when you arrive here in Montmartre, you can have the option to drive up on a red scooter like Oliver. You can take the funicular, which is like an elevator that comes up the side of the hill. Otherwise, you can take the 300 stairs to the top. So why don't we have a look at the stairs here? We just jolted up these like Rocky. We did a little dance when we got to the top here.
Did you actually?
No.
I would have definitely done that. Hey, guess what time it is in Thorold?
Quarter after midnight.
Midnight. I just looked at someone commented.
So these are the steps we just came up to get to the view.
Can you see the dude down there running up?
There he
That's
is.
impressive. You think he'll make it all the way?
Oh yeah.
He's not running up the steps either, he's running up the side.
Yeah.
Barbara says, I love how empty it is in the morning. So do I, Barbara.
Last week on a tour, I came up all these 300 steps, and then the family was like, let's go to the top of Sacré-Cœur into the dome, so it was another 300 steps to the top. I really burnt off my baguettes that day, that's for sure.
This guy really is making. Well done. That's right. And you can take the funicular back down.
There it goes.
No, he's gone. Alright, onwards.
All right, let's keep moving.
You know what I like to do sometimes?
Pick up the garbage.
Just one point every day.
Someone says it's 2:15 in Australia.
2:15
All
in Australia.
right.
Who was that? What was their first name?
Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Bonjour. It's Debbie.
Debbie. 1 point.
There we go.
There you go. If every walk show we got 1 point, Paris would be a better place. Why is there a man standing up against the railing looking through?
I wonder
Our
what he's
guest of
doing.
honor, one of our guests of honor today.
What, the man?
No. His model.
You know what the funny thing is? Even though we got up at 6 a.m., I realized that it's still not perfect time for everybody. And I wonder if there is a perfect time that we could do a walk show when everybody could watch. I'm thinking maybe like 2 in the morning here. That's all I can really think about.
Oh, there she is.
So look through this way.
Can you see her over there?
The answer is not really.
No,
May I take over for just 1 second? Let's see if I can get up higher and show you guys. If you hold this, or is it better over where that chap is?
Yeah, you know, because you have this antenna here.
Hang on, let me see if I can get above the antenna.
We're too short.
Ah, can you guys see that now? Korean Debbie, I see you guys. Can you see our special guest that's not April in the distance? Someone give me a yes. I can see it. First person to write what they see wins eternal glory on the Eiffel Tower.
See it, Noah?
No comments. You guys are slow this morning. Disappointed. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. The comments are coming through.
All right.
You got
Maybe
it?
we can get her from a different angle there. When you come up here at night, you'll see our guest of honor here. And she...
The namesake of the show.
Yeah.
Ellen comment at Eiffel Tower, Tracy at Eiffel Tower.
There you go. You guys are slow with your fingers this morning.
You're not the only one who hasn't had the coffee. There we go.
Wow, okay,
Yeah. It's better from here. Look at the way the sunshine is illuminating against her. Yeah. When you come up here at nighttime, well, the tower, she lights
If you
up.
move a bit this way, so the antenna's this way, come. There you go. Sorry, tower lights up at midnight.
So,
And go right up against the thing.
there we go.
See if we can zoom. Things often go wrong when I try
Yeah.
to zoom.
Anyway, when you come up here in the evening time, well, Montmartre is one of the highest points in Paris, but you don't get the view with the Eiffel Tower right from in front of Sacre-Cœur Church. So in the evening time, you come right to this very point, and there will be hordes of people here watching the Eiffel Tower, glowing this beautiful gold color, and then every hour on the hour from sunset, she does twinkle for 5 minutes. And so this particular space right here is awfully crowded
Why
in
do
the
they
evening
call it?
time.
Why do they call it a she?
Because the word tower in French is feminine.
Oh.
Yes.
See, French lesson there. La Tour Eiffel. It's not Le Tour Eiffel.
La Tour
Named after
Eiffel.
Gustave Eiffel.
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 Yeah.
Barbara said you can Photoshop out the antenna, lol.
That's what we can do. Good thinking, Barbara. I like the way you think. Barbara, if you can do Photoshop, you can do it as we're walking. Send the picture along, then we've got a picture for the end of it. I went up there once to the top of the Sacre-Cœur.
Beautiful
A
view.
lot of steps.
Yeah.
Add an elevator, I say.
Yeah, but the church is kind of old. You can't just add an elevator in. So, but that is the highest point of all of Paris. So it's 300 steps up. Here in Montmartre, we're 130 feet, or meters rather, above the rest of Paris. And then it's about another 93 meters to the top of Sacre-Cœur.
Do you use meters or feet in Canada?
Well, we use both.
You use both?
Yeah.
Just like you use
Because
French
in
and-
height,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
5 foot. I'm 5 foot.
Are you 5 foot?
Right.
4.
4.
Oh.
4. Yeah.
In Australia, we use height. We do both. as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Just
Hey,
watch
look.
car.
A lot of people that watch the show like to follow along. I'm going to show you. If you can film that street sign, you might have to use the thumb thing. Remember this? Like that. No, not that. This. There you go. So that's where we are. Rue Saint. What the? Eleuthère.
Eleuthère. Yeah.
Okay. Now you guys are following. Although I guess if you had to just search the Sacre-Cœur, you would have found us. Upwards.
Yes. Upwards. So, now do you know why Montmartre is called Montmartre, Oliver? Does anyone know at home why Montmartre is called Montmartre?
I don't actually. Well, judging by how slow the guys type at home, no one's going to answer that quick. So I'm going to step in for everybody. Mont means mountain.
Yes.
That's all.
Mountain.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
but-
walk into it.
Well, the patron saint of Paris, one of them anyway, is Saint Denis. And Saint Denis, he was sent here during the Roman Empire to preach Catholicism. Now back then, Paris was an agnostic city, region, where we are today. And, well, the people...
When you're doing this on the tour, do you usually stop at this point? When you're talking this kind of stuff?
Well,
Because I
you
saw you
know,
started walking and then you stopped. I feel like I'm throwing you off.
No, it depends on the vibe of the people, really. So,
It's hard to know the vibe.
yeah.
What's the vibe, people? What's the vibe? Okay, so it was agnostic.
So anyway, Saint Denis, he's sent here. He's preaching Catholicism. The locals hear that he's doing this. They're not too happy, and they sentence him to death. So Montmartre means my martyr, actually,
Ah.
because he was beheaded up here on top of the hill in Montmartre. Now the legend says after he was beheaded up here, he picked up his head and he continued to march and preach the word of the Lord until he had his final collapse, where St. Denis Basilica is today.
So he didn't walk down, which is Rue des Martyrs.
Yeah.
I mean, which makes sense. You'd think he would have walked that way,
Yeah.
but obviously
Well, I
not.
don't know which way he went down.
Well, I mean, if
and
you
which
end up in
went.
Saint Denis, you had to go that way.
Well, you know.
But he did a pretty blinking good job with
He
no
did.
head.
Yeah. This,
Take one last look at that view, by the way.
the legend says he even stopped once, raised up his head under a mountain.
Oh yeah, I see that fountain. Look for the statue with the decapitated head, says Elizabeth and John. I see you, Elizabeth. I'm poking my head over and looking at the comments as well. Any questions from you guys? Send me some questions. Send us a tricky question. Or ask anything you want to know about the Eiffel Tower. You are never going to have a walk show where I can walk this far away in Paris and you can still hear me. Because usually there's people, there's cars, there's chimney sweeps.
Yeah. Which broom? Oliver, look. Have you seen that one before? Ooh.
You know what we're looking at? Invader.
Do you know this, Noel? No, this is the Space Invader. So it's a street artist here in Paris. Now, why is there a spray paint can with him here? Probably because we're going into the Artist Square next. So
let's
I
go
think
into
that's a new one.
Yeah, it could be.
And I've been up here quite a bit lately. Haven't seen that one. So
It's snapping.
I know.
It's really, I mean, what I love right now is the, as you look around, you see the cafes open but empty. It's just kind of really quiet.
Getting ready.
Only the joggers are out this early. It's kind of a bit.
Getting ready. It's a calm before the storm.
Hey, are we gonna go that way?
Yeah.
Because that looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look.
We'll have off script.
Yeah.
Off script. People will probably comment. I'm just assuming what the comments are saying. What's that bag? Oliver, is that what you think they're saying?
I think that's
I'm my helmet, by the way.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. Don't worry.
So people are obviously asking, what's that?
Someone asked if there's any shops open right now.
I'm going to reinterpret what you're asking. What's that Oliver's holding? It's the Eiffel Tower tote bag, the lunch pack of Notre Dame, and you can get that. You know what I'm going to do? I said this the other day and it worked, but I'm going to do a very strict limit here. I'm saying it now because I know people are watching. This is by the way, this is a trial.
Okay.
A lot of people are on trial here. I think 150 people are trialing. I want you guys to sign up as flaneurs. The next 10, because I only have 10 left. 10 people to sign up at that flaneur level on Patreon. I'm sending you one of these for free. 10 people. And I'm going to be very clear about that in the comments below who get them.
You know what, Oliver? I have a few of those left too. Because if you sign up with a tour with me, April in Paris Tours, and you mention Oliver in the Earful Tower podcast, you will get one of these lunch packs for free as well. So, what's that?
Someone told me they have one there. So a commenter has one there. They say every time they go out in Manhattan, people comment on it. I'm like, hey, I like your tote bag. Come with us. We were going to go that way, but the sun is shining through here. We wanted to show you.
Oh, look at that. Fun.
From a distance, it kind of looks like me and you, April.
Oh, yeah. We have longer hair, though. No?
People want to know where we are. Here you go. This is where we are. Rue du Mont-Cenis and...
Rue Rustic with the boob.
Yes.
See it there?
Do you know the story of them?
Yeah, it's a street artist. Her name is Intra Larue, and she puts these up all across the city. So
there you go. What's that question that I saw there?
I trade you April Tim Tams for a bag.
Tim Tams for a bag?
We already had a deal, Mark. We already had a deal.
Hey, Mark, bring some Tim Tams for me. I know what I'm missing. Do you know what a Tim Tam is?
Yeah, of course. I lived in Australia for years.
Of course.
Mark is coming next week.
Oh, cool.
And he's doing a tour. He heard of me from you.
Hey, Mark.
You're already getting a tote bag.
Hey, April, what are you doing? No, let me rephrase that. Yes, we will trade for Tim Tam.
Just have a suitcase full for me, all right?
Mark, you're not already getting a tote bag. That's too bad. Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, take a look down here. This here is a fabulous crippery. Okay, so, and then we've got the bell tower there of Sacre-Cœur.
Never seen it so empty. This is amazing.
Tracy says, Tim Tams the best part of Oz.
You are the podcast host. Huh? There's a bar there called the Chat Noir, and there's another one in the 11th near where I live called the Chat Noir. And trying to meet people sometimes, you end up in the wrong one. I don't even know if I've been down this street before. Is this the one that you recommended as the best street in Montmartre?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because you said this is where you have to go down the things. Okay, people are still watching, right? Come on, let's keep walking while we talk.
16 people live.
That's pretty good. 16 people out there. Well, maybe they are sending questions. So when I first met April was on the Eiffel Tower when she came on doing the streets. That was the first time we did something together.
Yeah, sure
So
was.
we did an episode, and I hope you guys have listened to it already. I assume you have, where we did the best street. Did you see that pigeon?
Yeah.
We did the best street in every hour this month. And when I said, April, what's the best one in the 18th? What did you say?
Yeah, Rue du Mont-Cenis here.
Now, why did you pick this one? I mean, obviously, I can tell why you picked it,
I
but
mean,
maybe...
because it is just so beautiful. You have the wonderful views. the cobblestones. You know I'm obsessed with cobblestones, and I had a very special moment running down the street once, like a true Parisian, with a baguette under my arm, to going to a dinner soiree. So for me, not only is it naturally beautiful, but also it just holds a special place in my heart, really.
Okay, you know, one of the first walk shows I ever did back before I created this group, it was snowing in Paris, and I was meeting with a documentary maker who wanted to do a documentary on the Eiffel Tower, and then he faded into, I don't know, obscurity or whatever. Anyway, I was meeting in his house and it started snowing. It was really snowing. And I came up these stairs, no one was here, snow everywhere, and I just put on the camera and I walked until the battery went out.
Yeah.
And people were skiing down that same slope that we were just
I
sitting.
heard about that.
So yeah, this is, we're off. We weren't meant to be going this way, but the sun looks so nice, so we just thought we'd share it with you. 15 people watching live and people who watch it afterwards. Oh, 18. Tracy Summerlin, this is the first time I caught a live video. So happy. Tracy, you know what I think? I'm going to directly address Tracy for a second. Do you know how weird it is that wherever you're watching Tracy, I'm not sure, let's just assume America or Australia, that you're actually watching us live in Paris, talking to you, Tracy. I just think that's weird. Don't you think it's weird?
I think it's awesome.
I think it's great, but it's like that concept, like 5 years, 10 years ago.
Yeah. What will they come up with next?
Tracy is from US.
She's from the USA.
All right.
Well, hot damn. Welcome to your first walk show. This is what we do live. You can send us questions. We will answer. If any questions come in from Tracy, put them as a priority. We're talking to Tracy.
Tracy is from Pennsylvania, to be exact.
Okay.
All right.
Still not a question, Tracy. You have to up the game and give us a real question. And what we're doing, you know what? Some people are maybe tuning in, they don't know what we're doing. This is April Pett, a tour guide in Paris with 100 5-star reviews.
On TripAdvisor.
On TripAdvisor.
Yes.
They're all 0 stars on every other channel.
No, come on.
100
5-star.
100 5-star reviews.
5-star only. On my Facebook as well.
Yeah, April in Paris tour. This is the Eiffel. If you're watching this and you don't know what you're watching, I don't know how that happened because you had to join a secret group. But this is a walk show. It's like a talk show.
But we're walking.
You got it.
Yeah, huh?
That's my tagline. And you're either on a free trial or you're a regular subscriber to the show. Either of which I thank you for. And this is what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I say we, it's not always you, but you've done more walk shows than I think
Anyone else. I think this is what, my third. Yeah, we talked about this.
Barbara asked, when do people come out?
Well, they
Of the closet?
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
Well, normally the cafes start to open around 8. And so in just a couple hours, this will be bustling with people coming up to Montmartre for the views, maybe for a crepe, to see the artist square here.
Which is what we're going to know.
Yeah.
And when you say bustling, like that's, if anything, an under-exaggeration because this place, like me walking like this would never happen from 9 o'clock onwards.
On average, 25,000 people a day go through the artist square, Place du Terre, where we're heading now. So this will probably be the only time you see it completely empty and quiet the way it is right now.
That was good. That would be good for the trailer. Maybe I should do that bit of the trailer.
Tracy said, how long have you lived in Paris, April?
So I'm coming up to my 5-year anniversary now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
When you've been here for 5 years, that's
5
when you're a
years.
lifer.
Yeah.
You're here for good.
That's what they say.
That's the
Hey.
cutoff. Tracy, I don't know, maybe you're interested. I can tell you how long I've been here as well.
Yeah. Actually,
3.5 years for me.
yeah.
What are you going to say?
No, this month in June was 3 years that I launched my company as well. So, yeah.
Hey, you know, I want to address something else, by the way, while we're here. Speaking of 5-star reviews, you guys, if you haven't left a review for the podcast of the Eiffel Tower, now's your chance. Please do it and give me something to read out on air.
5
I love
stars.
reading. Well, you have to do 5. I'm not going to pressure you. If you like it, though,
I'd give it a 5-star.
you should. Have you given a review?
I'll do it today.
It's a little noisy because I think there's a garbage truck.
All right. So this is the heart of the artist quarter here in Place du Terre. Should we show one of those signs?
Yeah,
again?
walk us through. Now I'm lost.
All right. It's over there. So now.
We might have to talk louder because we're not tired.
So Paris is really starting to come to life now.
Yeah, you can hear
Take a look at the way the chairs are set up here. This is something that I love about Paris, because at home in Canada, well, this is home now, I guess, but you know, when you go to a cafe or a restaurant, you face each other, but here, it's like you're in the audience, in the whole world is your live
Come sit with me
theater.
until they kick us out. So if we were just customers here, which maybe we will be in an hour, in case they do kick us out. This is how you do it. You sit here, you sit back, and you know what? Waiters in Paris are so quick, generally, at their job, that if you have 4 and you need an extra chair, it materializes like that.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah. Now, you can grab a seat here, have an espresso now, and you can sit here until midnight tonight. You know, they're not in any rush for you to make way for the new clients. And so it's a perfect spot to just sit back, relax, people watch. Never mind about the soccer and the World Cup going on right now. They say people watching is the national sport here.
Although,
in
you
France.
say that, one thing I've noticed in Paris is that when the soccer is on, they turn the chairs off and around to
And
be
face
facing
the
inside, so
yeah.
that you can see the football. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you're here in World Cup or the Euros, all the
Yeah.
chairs are facing the other way.
Roland Garros too.
But maybe
Yeah.
here it's always people. So we continue before we get in trouble.
So Oliver, I have a fun question for you. Do you know why the artists used to flock here to Montmartre?
Can I guess, or should I just say no?
You can guess. It
Uh,
has something to do with one of your newest obsessions. In the wall.
something to do with the, tell me, City Wall?
Yeah, so as you might have seen, Oliver
Let's assume they've seen. I
yeah,
assume these people
yeah,
are fans of the show.
Yeah, of course. So, but Oliver recently interviewed the wall. Now, this wall, it was constructed back in 1190 by Philippe Auguste to protect Paris from invasions from the Brits and the Vikings. Now, when Louis XIV comes into power, about 500 years later, okay, he says, nobody's going to take down my troops in my country. So he knocks down the wall. Okay, but then he starts to build things like the Invalides in Versailles with lots of gold and extravagance. So when Louis XVI comes into power, he built another wall. Now this is used as a tax wall. And if you look at the Parisian metro map, you will see line 2 in the north and line 6 in the south. And this tax wall followed the exact same route. Now Montmartre, we're just north of the tax wall. Right?
Tax
And
evaders.
So this was the area these poor starving artists would come and drink cheap wine, because Montmartre used to be a rural village dotted with windmills and vineyards, and the nuns of Sacré-Cœur used to make the wine up here. And here they could kick back, relax, drink cheap wine, and then look at the blurry city below, okay, and
Blurry
get
because they're
inspiration.
drunk, yeah?
Yeah, maybe the pollution too, I don't know, but that's why when you go into...
Lost the camera. Be more interesting, April. Should we walk around and see?
Yeah.
So that's why when you go into...
So that's why the artists would flock here. Now this is the heart of the artist square, and normally when you come here, you know what I'll do?
Come, let's walk, guys. Come.
Oh yes, I know. In a few hours, what I'll do is I'll post a photo of Place du Pett when it's full of all the artists and the people, because I will be touring up here a little bit later today.
Put a picture under this comment.
And then you can see what the difference is. Like this, you know, it's obsolete right now. But normally the square is full of artists, and to be able to get a 1 square meter piece of plot of land, I guess, in the square, you do have to submit your portfolio to the mairie of Montmartre, so the mayor's office. Costs 550 euros for the application fee. And if you are granted the 1 square meter spot in the square here, you only get it half the year. So that means, Oliver, you would get it in the morning and I would get it in the afternoon. Guess how long the waiting list is?
Long.
10 years. So,
my God.
yeah.
May I take the camera for a sec? Because I want to zoom this bit through, because I feel like and I also want to see your comments.
All right.
I'll give it back in a sec. But I want to do the walk show bit. I feel like because there's not people about to hit into us, we're losing the energy.
Ah,
So
okay.
run with me, April.
Run.
No,
You
but
wanna
see,
run?
what I wanted to ask you. Oh, there's more street art on the corner there.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Oh, should we just show this little view?
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask you was the cheap artists basically were avoiding the taxes by hanging out in Montmartre. Obviously, it's too expensive to do that nowadays.
Yeah.
So the question is, where are the young artists hanging these days?
Many of them are flocking to Belleville. So
Belleville.
Yeah. I lived there for 3.5 years, and just like Montmartre, it's situated on top of the hill. So actually there's a rival between Montmartre and Belleville, like who's higher, who has the best view. I personally love Belleville because when you're in the park there, you get the whole view with the Eiffel Tower. But the reason that these poor starving artists are flocking there is because there was a lot of abandoned spaces and warehouses, and so they are snatching up this really cheap rent and converting these spaces into their galleries and workshops.
You know what? There are a lot of comments going through too fast for me to respond to.
Okay.
But people are saying that the artists don't like you taking pictures of them here. What do you know about that?
Well, the thing is,
and speak loudly because this is going to be noisy.
Well, they want you to buy their masterpieces. That's why, you know, they don't want you just. Oh, it's really loud.
Whoa. Okay, that's the noisy thing. We'll move on from that. Sorry, April, hold that thought. This is where we are. Plus, new depth.
And take a look at the sign of that.
Oh, what did you say?
It was the first car by Renault back in 1898. Drove up here on Christmas Eve, beginning the car industry in France. It smells like camembert.
Okay, I'll give you the camera back. You got it? I just wanted to do the what. I missed it. It's unusual to have a camera operator with us.
So now there is actually a vineyard still up here in Montmartre.
Stop. There's a Starbucks here.
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
Hate it.
Hate
Not
it.
a fan.
I didn't come.
So, you know, there's so many ma and pa shops that need our support. Do not go to Starbucks when you're here in France. Please, don't do it. Sit on one of those cute little terraces, catch a seat, and watch the world go by with your espresso or your café crème.
Although, if you're watching Starbucks and you're thinking, I want to sponsor the Eiffel Tower,
Do that.
we love it. More. Bring more. Here you go. Here comes the first car of the day in these kind of things. And there's two of them.
Watch your step.
This is more the walk show I'm used to. This is what, who was it, Tracy? Tracy, if you're still watching. This is what it's usually like because we're in the day.
Tracy said coffee in Paris is not good.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
Tracy.
the thing is that for a long time, the Parisians had a really bad reputation for their coffee making skills. But 60% of the Parisians walk up to the bar in the morning, drink their espresso really quickly as they check their emails or read the newspaper. And so, sure, many places have a reputation of burnt and bitter coffee because the bartenders or the barmen, baristas, that's the word, you know, are trying to keep up with the high demand. However, the coffee scene is really changing rapidly. I thought we could go around, but is it going to be too loud? Yeah, let's go quickly. Let's go.
Let's talk about the good coffee. He's another Eiffel Tower that's not obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, the coffee, there is really good coffee.
There is really, and the coffee scene is rapidly changing.
And there's I've done, Tracy, maybe you're new to the show, I've done episodes with people like Guy from Cafe Americo,
Just didn't mention
Tom
that.
Clark from Platoon, Paul and Christian from Peloton Coffee Shop. I had them all on the show. I've done an article, the best coffee shop in every hour this month. If you just chance it and sit on a regular terrace and taste their coffee, might not be that good, but if you seek out the good ones, there is really good coffee.
Yeah.
100%.
The Peloton's one of my favorite places.
Hey.
Yeah.
Did we meet there once?
Yeah, we did. So, no, we did. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just come on down to the end of the road. There's just some really few more beautiful things to see just down the way here.
I also think usually these shows go for about half an hour, but seeming it's so special,
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush to turn it off. And if you guys are watching, we'll hang around. I don't know if you have to be anywhere at 6:30.
No, not really.
Noel, do you need to be anywhere at 6:30?
Nope. And a beautiful view like this, yes.
More questions, please, from the
I have a question for the viewers. Have you been to Montmartre before? And what are your thoughts? It's very different than the rest of Paris. What do you prefer? The village on top of the hill or the grand wide boulevards in the city below? Let us know.
I like it. Ask questions to the listeners. Yeah, flip it on its head.
Uh-huh.
I like that a lot.
For me, I think Montmartre is very picturesque. You know, as we come around the corner here, take a look at the facade of this building here. The greenery on it. You know, this is just something that you don't actually see typically when you're down in the heart of Paris. So, isn't it beautiful?
Corinne's been here 8 times. That's more than I've been here, Corinne. That's a good score. And then we're going to go down this street. And then we can at least show them. We need to think of something for the trailer. Something colourful, April. What do you
Well, the Maison Rose is pretty colorful
That's pretty
there.
damn colourful.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite cafes in Paris. I've had the coffee. Maybe it's not the best, but I just love the house. Look how cute it is.
And look at this. Look at the way they've written the street sign. Is that, what's it called? Art Nouveau style?
Art Nouveau. Yeah.
That's not every day you see that.
No.
And that's also where we're at. You know, I did a walk yesterday. John, I think, Murray, like a viewer, was watching it along on Google Maps.
Okay.
So I had to get Google Maps open on the side. I was checking where we were going.
That's
But
great.
this is a nice street. A lot of people rank this as one of their favorite streets in the whole city.
Yeah.
So, but we're not going to go down there.
No.
Elizabeth says, April, do you know the story of the Lapin restaurant? I think it's across
Oh, yeah.
from Maison Rose.
I
You
went
have to
there.
tell it, or-
No, but we're gonna go down and see it. But I went there for my birthday last year. It was a birthday present. It was on my Paris bucket list, which gets longer and longer every day from meeting tourists and people on the Eiffel Tower, you know. But let's head on down there and check it out, okay?
This is nice. What is this? Like this? Thinking about walls again. This looks like one of the old city walls.
It didn't make it up this far.
No. Oh,
So-
the sun! The sun's out.
Sun's
The sun's
out.
here.
Huh. So have a look. Have you seen this before, Oliver?
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
But have the viewers seen it before?
So have a look here. Noel, take a look at this sign. That way the
You might have to film from here so that so the sun doesn't kill you.
So it says the Vin du Clos Montmartre. Now, you heard me say just a few minutes ago that the Montmartre used to be dotted with vineyards, and so this is one of the remaining vineyards here in the city of Paris, and this is the largest vineyard here in the capital. So it still produces wine, Pinot Noir and Gamay, and you can buy the wine from the vineyard here, the Montmartre vineyard, in October. There's a harvest festival, and so the wine, you know, isn't spectacular apparently, but the bottles do go for maybe 80 euros, 50 to 80 euros a bottle, because it's a special edition wine, and all the money that is brought in by the sale of the wine goes to a local charity. A different wine every year. Yeah, it's all done by auction.
Nice. You see there's registration plates up on the
Oh yeah.
wall there.
Look there.
That's an unusual building too. You can show the whole thing. It's like a building from Paris.
Yeah.
If you saw that stand alone, you'd think you were more in blue and bricks or something.
Tracy asked, what's your favorite type of wine, Oliver, in April?
Ah, Tracy, that's what I like. That's a good question. I got a story for that. So there's, I find French wine really hard to pronounce, right? So there's one called get this, Brouilly, and it's pronounced, yeah, something like that. No expat has ever pronounced it correctly. Brouilly.
Louis.
I did an
I
episode.
say it pretty good.
I say it pretty good, but
on.
not perfectly. And when I first moved here, someone told me it was a good wine, and I used to try and order it. And every time I said it, the waiter was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I just got Bordeaux. I just always used to get Bordeaux, and then someone told me Bordeaux is like so boring. They said, in fact, that was also on the show. It was the woman that said how to be a Parisian, the woman Julie Collard, and she said get Côte du Rhône. And since then, I've always drank Côte du Rhône.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, it really depends. In the Summer, I typically drink a rosé, just like all the other Parisians, hey?
Fake it till you make it, April.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And for red wines, it really varies. Yeah, it depends what I'm eating.
Do you have brie?
I do have brouilly sometimes. It's very light, the brouilly. So
I feel like you're pronouncing it differently every time.
I like something a bit more cousteau.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's cousteau mean?
A bit stronger. So.
Remind me not to have a dinner party with April.
I do. Oh, I don't know.
I get before.
A Syrah. There.
Syrah.
I would love a Syrah.
Shiraz.
Shiraz. It's not as spicy as it is in Australia here.
I think you're going to tell the story of this place.
The Lapin Agile.
And then I'm going to follow it up with the story of when I went there recently.
Oh, did you go recently?
Yeah. But first you can explain what it is. And then we'll talk about it.
Come in, let's go and have a seat. Maybe on the terrace here too. Oops.
That was yesterday's brie bottle. Oh, we're sitting on the terrace.
Oh, there's a little bench.
Perfect.
So the Lapin Agile, this is a cabaret. It opened up in the mid 1800s. Yeah, we are. I know. I always get sidetracked because I want Noel to be able to see the sign here.
Yes, I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait.
So, but this was a place that all these. Are you okay? All these poor starving artists would come and gather in the evening. They actually still serve this kind of liqueur concoction with it's a cherry liqueur, I believe.
Correct.
When you arrive here before the cabaret starts. So it's a sing-along, and if you look on the tables, all the people who used to come here for centuries, you know, they carved their names into the table. Now the cabaret is called Le Lapin Agile, and if you take a look up here, see, lapin is rabbit in French, and it was designed by a fellow called André Gilles. And so the Lapin Agile is a play on words, the rabbit Agile, and so that's how it got its name. Now, one day Picasso came here. He was broke and he was starving and he was cold and he just needed somewhere warm to stay and a warm meal in his belly. And so he said to the owner, "Can I please stay here for the night? I will make you a painting that you can hang in your establishment here." And he says, "Sure, no problem." So he gets put up here for the night, makes this painting. It hangs on the wall in the Lapin Agile for many years. Well, doesn't the owner sell this masterpiece for $20? A few years ago, it went for something like 47 million, the same painting, and it now hangs in a gallery in New York. So he's probably turning over in his grave.
What's the moral to the story, April?
It's just a Picasso story.
No, but there's always a moral. Like, don't sell your paintings. Sell your paintings.
I don't know. What's your take on it?
I want to tell you the story. When I came here, it's my lovely Lena, my fiance, surprised me one night, and she said, we used to do it a lot. We used to surprise each other for like dates in the early days.
Yeah.
Still do.
He's a romantic. They both are.
But one time she said, we're going to Montmartre. That's all you need to know. And she had tickets. And so we came here and we went in. And I still didn't know what it was until, in fact, I think it was until I sat down, I still didn't know. So we're sitting in this room. And then this is right when I moved to France. Didn't speak very good French at all. And couldn't even pronounce oui in those days. And so we're sitting there, and the singers come out, but it's a very interactive show, so they just sit in the middle and they start talking and singing. And I was like, what? Are we watching this? Is this a show, or are these people just singing in the cafe that we're in? I didn't know. They give us the cherry liqueur and stuff. And it was basically all in-jokes for French people for like maybe 2 hours in a row with no breaks, and songs that I'd never heard before. And I still didn't really know what it was about. And in the end, as lovely as it was for a foreigner who didn't speak French and didn't get the jokes and stuff, I lost total, I didn't know what was happening anymore, and I was like, I think we need to go, because we hadn't eaten either. 2 hours of these songs, but you can't sneak out, they block the door.
You have to wait for an intermission.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So there was no intermission, so honestly I think 2.5 hours in, Lena said something like, I think she said she was pregnant, or something like that, and she was an emergency, even though she didn't look great, and we had to go. So I'm just, as lovely as it is and the name is, if you don't speak French and if you don't get a lot of the sort of old songs and how important they are, and I talked to a French person afterwards, he said when they hear those songs it means a lot to them, there's a lot of context, but for people like me,
or me,
or April, you might miss the context and it might be a long night, but if you like listening to songs in a different language,
I knew one
Get in
song.
there.
I knew they sang Joe Dassin, Champs-Élysées. That's the only one I knew.
oh, Champs-Élysées.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I have some water?
Yeah.
Thank you. We're gonna go up. Are we going up?
Yeah, sure. Wherever you want to go now.
Well, now I don't know. I think if we go to the right, or
This will bring us back to Montmartre.
okay, we'll do that, and then we'll go up and we'll finish at the second
Okay,
show.
let's go.
People are watching. Hey,
When
if you're watching, we'll go.
When I came here, I was probably the youngest person by 60 years.
But they've even got it in English. I'll read it to you.
Oh, this is new.
The show Songs, Music and Poetry has a wide variety of talented singers and artists. You'll sit at the carved wooden tables in a dimly lit room, taste the traditional drink of the house, and be immersed in a true Parisian ambiance. The soiree covers traditional French standards like Edith Piaf, Charles Trenet, Maurice Chevalier. Maybe I know some more of the songs now, actually. Love ballads, sea shanties, much more. Sing along, blah blah blah. Even if it's only to say oui, 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 no, no. No dinner! 28 euros per person. That was a nice date.
Yeah.
You know what Lena did yesterday? It was so sweet. I felt sick. I had hay fever. You saw it?
I saw it.
She sent bloody ice cream to my house.
I was surprised it didn't melt in that heat we had yesterday.
In Paris right now it's like 30.
It's supposed to go to 38 today.
38
I
now,
think.
really?
Yeah, it's
Which
like
in
gonna get up
Fahrenheit is like 400.
there. Even more.
Now you can see the backside of the vineyards if you want to take a look. I mean, you get a bit of perspective how big it is. Tracy, what was your favourite wine, by the way? Tracy's still here. She commented. Hi, Rachel. I saw Rachel signed in. That's the name I recognise. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk and go up those steps that we showed for the people that are watching from the beginning. Then we're going to say goodbye to you. And then I'm going to get a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Right. Look how beautiful these are. Just the flowers coming into bloom now.
So for people just tuning in, wondering why you're looking at flowers in Montmartre, it's because Pett, April in Paris Tours, has joined me, the Eiffel Tower, on a walk show through Montmartre for sunrise. And this video will be on there for replay for you guys who missed it. And yeah, we just took a stroll through
Montmartre, the village atop the hill. Look at this courtyard. How beautiful is this one? Yeah, I just love the greenery.
This is like little houses. You get these ones as we walk by.
Tracy says Lilliet.
That's our favourite wine?
Yep.
Really? I didn't even know that one. I'll taste it.
Have you been to the wine festival here, the Harvest Festival?
No.
We should come this year.
Are they bees? Beehives?
Yeah, take a look there. Ooh. Speaking of bees, there's one in my hair.
No, it wasn't a bee. It's not that. It's a moth. Hey, that's something you guys... I think on Friday I'm going to be going up on the rooftops of Paris with a beekeeper.
Wow, cool.
Friday for the walk show. If not, I'll tell you, it's a sad story. He had the guy organized it, and there's unfortunately a death in his family.
I know.
So I said, let's reschedule it. And he said, no, we're going to do it. So if we do it, we'll do it. It may be somber walk show.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll reschedule it soon. But this is the guy who keeps bees on the rooftops all around Paris.
That is so cool.
I don't know what rooftop we're going to, but he has them on Musée d'Orsay.
D'Orsay on top of the Gardenier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One on top of the Cordon Bleu as well, the restaurant.
Oh, really? There's one on top of the Assemblée Nationale.
So that's something coming up for you guys on the
That's
walk
very
show?
cool.
You know what else?
I want to go on that one too. Can I go?
You just freaked out when there was a bee in your hair. You're not going to last very long. But,
they say the bees in Paris are the happiest bees in France.
what?
Yeah, because people decorate their windowsills and their terraces with so many different flowers, different varieties, and if you go into the countryside, it's kind of like monotone flowers. And so the bees have so many different options, and because it stays warmer in Paris longer than it does in the countryside, you know, these flowers stay in bloom longer, and yeah, they just love the city life. Look, that's pretty. Woo! There's the sunrise we were talking about.
So I'm going to take over the camera for a bit. No, you okay? Okay, we're going to get up these stairs and we're going to say goodbye. So if you guys have questions, now is the time. Coming up, walk shows. listen to this, April.
Yes.
Listen to this guest list. So, Sebastian Mark's comedian next week. Elaine Chalina Rue des Martyrs, the woman that wrote The Only Street in Paris, going to go down. I think that's next week as well. Going to do Michael Huffman doing a chocolate tour.
Ah, cool.
He's a chocolate tour guide, and we're going to go tasting chocolate.
Nice.
I met him yesterday. He gave me some of his wares.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, tonight.
The Marie as well.
Oh yeah, the mayor of the Forth said he's going to try and get the mayor of Paris along on a walk show on the River Seine, which will be exciting.
That would be awesome.
And then tonight, and you guys, if you're in Paris, although if you're in Paris right now, I'd be amazed to hear if you're watching at 6 in the morning. But I'm doing, there's 2 books coming out. I'm going to moderate a chat with them, whatever that means. It'll be like a Eiffel Tower show on the left bank. I think that's all the ones that are planned for now.
Yeah. Very exciting time.
What's our next one going to be?
I don't know yet.
Does it have to begin with M?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh, here we go. We made it.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Here's where I think we'll sign off. Can you, if you stand on this side, can you see us with the view in the background? I'll follow you around. Have a look. You certainly can.
Yeah. Great.
So we can say farewell. Okay. First we'll do a quick farewell. Before
Okay.
you Goodbye.
Au revoir.
But
I
now-
think so.
Sorry. Okay.
That was
go on.
really quick.
But what I wanted to say, this is April Pett. She's a regular on the show. AprilInParisTours.com.
That's right.
Book a tour with her. She's you've seen what she can do. If you watch this much and you don't know, then you're missing out. We won't film the passerby. This show is the Eiffel Tower. Anything you want to add about your company, by the way? You got the floor.
Yeah, you can look me up. I offer 18 different tours on my website
18
now.
tours.
Yeah, I have classic tours, walking tours of Paris, chauffeur tours, and all my tours are custom tours. I do food tours as well. So look me up, AprilInParisTours.com.
What's your favorite one?
Oh, it's hard to say.
You have to pick.
I really like the Off the Beaten Path tour. Oh, and Versailles. Oh, there's 2.
Versailles.
I know.
That's another show I'm doing. Cycling with the guys from Cycling from Versailles. That's another. So book a tour with April. This show, if you
You'll
watch,
get one of these.
yeah.
You'll get one of these lunch packs if you mention the Eiffel Tower.
this one looks a bit worse for wear because I've been carrying it a lot. The other thing is, I'm Oliver G. This is the podcast, the Eiffel Tower, the right arm of the podcast. So the podcast is the left arm, the right arm is the videos. You're watching on the Flaneur group, which I'm going to close in 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. So if you want to support this, so the goal is, this is my pitch. I'm trying to make this into my career, and I need help from the viewers at home. So if you sign up at the Flaneur level on Patreon, there's a link there. You can stay in this group where I'm going to do loads of these walk shows, and indeed show all the cool stuff from the honeymoon trip. The whole of France.
I'm so excited for that.
She's excited.
Very
Noelle, are you excited? Everyone's
Yes.
excited. So sign up. What did I say? 10 tote bags. If you signed up already while watching this, tote bag coming your way. Otherwise, that's it. Anything?
Brian says thank you for doing this and Oliver and April.
Was that
Okay.
Brian?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, Brian.
Yeah.
Check out Brian Fitzgerald's golf videos too. If you're a golf fan, he's got a YouTube channel. He taught me how to do YouTube, so check his
Cool.
stuff out too. Are you a golfer?
No.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But
Not
maybe
yet.
one day.
Maybe after watching Brian's videos, I will be.
You can sign off. I'm going to press stop. Any last
Okay.
words?
Well, no. Look me up. We'll see you soon. A bientôt.